Gaming in general is extremely toxic. We have people who scream horrible stuff at your entire bloodline, and people who just hate your gameplay. So I decided to give you some nice comments. But in Rocket League, we have people who are complete different breeds of human. It's gotten that worse that most people use the quick chats in game just to be toxic now. Which gives me the question for today's video, which we are going to go through, is what makes this game so toxic? But before we get into today's video, I just wanted to ask you guys to subscribe. Recently, we've been getting a lot of new viewers, like a lot. So if you wanted to subscribe, especially if you're new here, please do subscribe, as it's free and supports me out heavily. Now, back onto these toxic players. To start off the video, I want to talk about the game in general, and the reason as to why people are so toxic in the game. Well, first of all, I would say it's because the game just takes pure skill to play. Now, what I mean by that is that the game is all physics-based, so for the most part, if you're playing ones, if you are better in that particular game than your enemy, you should be able to win. And if not, then, you know, you're lost. You're terrible. But yeah, this could be one particular reason, because there are very small, a small amount of players who seem to think that if you beat them, you're cheating. And they have some sort of weird ego that they're like the best player, and you get what I mean. Most of these people would say stuff like reported after the game that you just finished with them. Not just that, but in this game, if you mess up once as well, say in twos, if you mess up once, you could throw the whole game, which does happen a lot in my ranked games. But yeah, that's we don't talk about that. But yeah, that's just the reason a lot of people seem to be toxic in the game. I also believe that, as mentioned already, ranked plays a big problem in this. Quick chats. Now, these are not even quick chats anymore. They can be used for callouts, unless you are using nice shot or great pass when someone scores or someone passes, because all of them are pretty much turned into sarcasm. What a save rarely gets used for any save, in my opinion. It doesn't get used for actual saves. When you miss, what a save gets used. It's literally just sarcasm, which it goes for every quick chat as well. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that everybody watching this video has at least at some point, or maybe, you know, if you just played Rocket League an hour ago, you know, you probably had some co-ed that decides to spam what a save in the chat. And you would have at least seen one or two people like this in each session you play. The thing is, a lot of people in this game are toxic. They have either been tilted from their last game they played, or just thought it would be fun to start shouting abuse in the chat about you, which is fun. But the community is a big problem, or a big issue, in regards to why the game is so toxic. Because I saw someone compare Rocket League to driving. Now, not actually driving, but the feeling you have when you drive. You know, you're in a heightened state of focus, Jesus Christ, which, yeah, I would agree with, and some players' egos are on the line, which I find wild, because if we are talking about twos here, why is their ego on the line? It's a team game. But gaming in general is a big problem for that anyway, because you kind of have any game, like literally any game is toxic. It's just Rocket League seems to be even worse because of the quick chats, as previously mentioned, and everything else. And obviously, people who take the game too seriously. It's human, obviously, and, you know, has at least happened to everybody at some point. So don't even bother going into these comment sections and saying, you're some sort of saint. Okay, that was a joke. But you get what I mean, right? Gaming in general is always going to have toxicity. The TikTok landscape is terrible as well. I think shorts and TikTok are huge problems. And I have some crazy experience in this, because I had a small time where I streamed on TikTok. Yes, I know, terrible, right? Yeah, only thing is, I have to say, is don't get a perm and don't stream Rocket League. It's just Zen Glazers on there, like straight up. The famous 1v1. Now, this is always used by Rocket League players when you have beaten them, and you say one thing that tips them over the edge. This happens most of the time as a last resort for people who just say, like, lost a freeze game, and they want to get some of their ego back by beating you in a ones game. And if you beat them in a 1v1, they shout abuse and most likely get a temp ban, even though they have been banned previously for the same thing 10 times. Which then the player who gets banned will then just log on and out and do the exact same thing in another month when his account gets reinstated. I think a good idea, at least to minimize this, would be to add a player rating system in the game, so I can at least figure out if my teammate is going to be nice or toxic. If they've got enough thumbs up, they get kicked out of ranked, or they get some sort of, you know, debuff, let's just put it that way. They get some sort of problem that happens to their account if they, you know, do bad stuff in games and get thumbs downs. And, you know, it's also, this rating would be kind of nice to see, at least because it would be similar to other games as well, like, say, Fragpunk. But it's just been used in a lot of other games, and it seems to work, because you at least know if the, you know, the players you were with were at least nice. Or, you know, blocking ranked from a player is like taking their life away from most people anyway. The people that don't touch grass. So, you know, it's a good thing to do. I think they should add that, actually. Genuinely, that's a good addition. But some advice from me is that a few years ago, I would have probably been like all the toxic people in this game anyway. Got angry, immediately said, you know, it in chat. But just honestly, all I've got to say is if you generally do get angry at this game properly, which, I mean, every now and again you probably are. Like, even I do still. But just don't even bother saying anything in chat. Just don't. It's the worst possible thing ever. It actually is. Like, one, your teammate's probably going to throw. And, you know, especially if you're annoyed at your teammate for being terrible, just don't even type in chat. Your teammate will most likely either leave the game or throw. Or he might do that anyway, but you never know. But anyway, too, it's just not exactly. It's not exactly like funny to be doing that anyway. It's kind of sad just to be putting in chat like abuse anyway. Yeah, it's not really needed. And just chill. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Like, obviously, the rank system is. Obviously the game itself is on its last legs, right? But come on, we don't need to be getting angry about the ranked games at the moment. But that concludes my video this week. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to become a member and obviously subscribe as it's free, and you know, supports me tremendously. And also, thanks. Oh yeah, I've also got to point this out actually. Thank you for the last 13 videos, or at least the 13 videos uploaded this year. Because they have done crazy. I don't think we've had one that's went below like 250 views, which might not seem like a lot, but to me that is. So yeah, thank you guys a lot. And I know one way to stop toxicity completely. Just get better.